Chandra.
Jai. Let me offer prayers to the Mangalacharana prayers for invoking the auspiciousness and to give some to give meaning to whatever the words I speak. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललितः श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधौ दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4. We will go through the word to word meaning and translation of verses 31 and 32. Verse number 31. धर्म छड़ी रागे दुन्हे करो ये मिलन कबू मिले कबू ना मिले दैवे रगटन। धर्म छड़ी रागे दुन्हे धर्म छड़ी रागे दुन्हे करो ये मिलन कबू मिले कबू ना मिले दैवे रगटन। धर्म छड़ी रागे दुन्हे करो ये मिलन कबू मिले कबू ना मिले दैवे रगटन। The next verse is शोभराशा निर्यास खरीब अश्वाध यही द्वारे खरीब शाभ भक्तिर प्रसाद। यही शोभराशा निर्यास खरीब अश्वाध यही द्वारे खरीब सब भक्तिर प्रसाद। यही शोभराश निर्यास खरीब खरीब अश्वाध यही द्वारे खरीब सब भक्तिर प्रसाद। Synonyms: Dharma Chadi, giving up religious customs; Ragi, in love; Duhe, both; Karaye, Karaye, do; Milana, meeting; Kabu, sometimes; Mile, they meet; Kabu, sometimes; Na Mile, they do not meet; Daivera, of destiny; Gatana, the happening. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Pure attachment will unite us even at the expense of moral and religious duties, dharma. Destiny will sometimes bring us together and sometimes separate us. Purport. The gopis came out to meet Krishna in the dead of night when they heard the sound of his flute. Srila Rupa Goswami has accordingly composed a nice verse, Adilila 5224, that describes a beautiful boy called Govinda standing by the bank of the Yamuna with his flute to his lips in the shining moonlight. Those who want to enjoy life in the materialistic way of society, friendship, and love should not go to the Yamuna to see the form of Govinda. The sound of Lord Krishna's flute is so sweet that it has made the gopis forget all about their relationships with their kinsmen and flee to Krishna in the dead of night. By leaving home in that way, the gopis transgress the Vedic regulations of household life. This indicates that when natural feelings of love for Krishna become fully manifest, a devotee can neglect conventional social rules and regulations. In the material world, we are situated in designative positions only, but pure devotional service begins when one is freed from all designations. When love for Krishna is awakened, the designative positions are overcome. The spontaneous attraction of Sri Krishna for his dearest parts and parcels generates an enthusiasm that obliges Sri Krishna and the gopis to meet together. To celebrate, to celebrate this transcendental enthusiasm, there is need of a sentiment of separation between the lover and the beloved. In the condition of material tribulation, no one wants the pangs of separation, but in the transcendental form, the very same separation, being absolute in its nature, strengthens the ties of love and enhances the desire of the lover and beloved to meet. The period of separation, evaluated transcendentally, is more relishable than the actual meeting, which lacks the feelings of increasing in anticipation because the lover and beloved are both present. Verse number 32. Word for word meaning or synonyms. This, Shobha, all, Rasa Niryasa, essence of mellows, Kuriba, I shall do, Ashwada, tasting, Dware, by this, Kuriba, I shall do, Sabha, all, Bhakthera, to the devotees, Prashada, favor. Translation: I shall taste the essence of all these rasas, and in this way I shall favor all the devotees. So, this beautiful chapter, the confidential reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has explained beautifully in the previous chapters different reasons and different qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, and Panchatattva. Right, he prayed to different acharyas, different levels, and eventually he wants to give a solid reason or confidential reason for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we all know, everyone understood Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, but no one knows, and there will always be a question of why Krishna um, going mad, why Krishna is behaving like that, why Krishna in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uh, took sannyas. So these questions arises in the minds of the devotees or the bhaktas or the premis of Krishna. So to answer this question, reading Chaitanya Charitamrita is very important. So this is one of the chapters which will give that reason. Even though there are many reasons, like in the previous instances, Krishna Ras Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned, Krishna has appeared because he wants to protect his devotees. Krishna has appeared because he wants to share the love with his devotees. But in this chapter, he talks about the confidential reason why. To protect the devotees, he can send other forms. Srila Prabhupada is good enough to take everyone back to Godhead. But why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to come? Why Krishna has to come personally? So that is the confidence, and at least, and that too in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that too in the form of sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as mother Vishnu Priya, right? A beautiful wife, a mother, and he still left all of them on a dead night, and he left everything and went to Jagannath Puri. Right? He went to Katwa, where he got his hairs removed. The barber stopped cutting the hair. His profession is to cut the hair, right? To shave the heads or to cut the hair. This barber, after cutting such a beautiful hair of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was completely in trauma on how a beautiful deity, a person like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai, can become sannyas. So that trauma has caused him stop his profession of cutting hair or shaving hair of the people. So that is the emotions that involved with the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. So now, yeah, so the questions arise. So now Krishna, our Kaviraj Goswami is giving us a very good example and very good explanation of multiple verses on why this has happened, why Krishna has come in as um, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is called as Channa Avatar. Channa Avatar means he comes in disguise. He doesn't want everyone to recognize him as Krishna. That's the thing, right? He comes as a Channa Avatar. Channa means disguise, hidden form. So he doesn't want to show that he's Krishna. So that is Channa Avatar. So now um, let's there are many verses, beautiful verses. 15 and 16 is super beautiful verse actually. Let's read this. The Lord's desire to appear was born from two reasons. He gives it here. The Lord wanted to taste the sweet essence of the mellows of love of God, and he wanted to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. Right? These are the two reasons. He gave it here, already revealed. So the Lord's desire to appear was born from two reasons. The Lord wanted to taste the sweet essence of the malice of the law of God. So when Krishna appeared, he appeared as God. When he's appeared as God, how can he relish or how can he enjoy the um, sorry, let me take it a little back. So let me put it in another way. So when Krishna appeared, he has seen Radharani, he has seen gopis, he has seen all the Brajavasis going mad in the absence of Krishna. When Krishna left to Mathura from Vrindavan, they all got crazy, they all got mad. And Krishna wanted to understand how is it possible, like, why they are going so mad. What was the feelings of Radharani for me at that point of time? Right? That love he wanted to experience. So that's why even though he is Krishna himself, but he appeared with the heart of Radharani. So what happens when even the bodily is Krishna, but his heart is of Radharani, so he can experience what Radharani has gone through, what gopis had gone through when um, Krishna left to Mathura. So that is one of the first reasons, right? So desire to appear was born for two reasons. But the first one is the Lord wanted to taste the sweet essence of mellows of love of God. How? What are they experiencing? God also desires to experience the feelings of his devotees, right? And the second thing is he wanted to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction, right? Spontaneous attraction means the attraction without thinking, without conditions. He wants to see how this attraction, how the devotees get attracted to Krishna. So that kind of attraction he wants to give. So that's why he created Nama, and he distributed Nama freely so that people can relish the beauty, the sweetness of these holy names, right? So what is the sweetness of the holy names? If one gets the sweetness of the holy names, they'll forget everything else. There are so many devotees, not only in not only in ISKCON, but outside also. Like I can see like hundreds and hundreds of devotees have written tons and tons and papers, tons and tons and verses about the sweetness of holy name, right? What is the holy name? They describe the holy name as sweeter than the mango, the sweeter than the honey, right? The purest form of sweetness in this material world is honey. That's very sweet, right? That's purest form. But uh, there was a very good song by Bhaktaram Das. He said that Kadali Karchuradi. So Kadali means the sweetness is from the Kadali phala, which is banana. Banana is very sweet, naturally sweet, right? And Karjura is like a dates. Dates and bananas, the sweetness of the dates and the sweetness of the bananas has no comparison to the artificial sugar or other things what we stevia, other things what we use. So the names of the Lord are much sweeter than the sweetest of the sweet things what we obtain in this material world. How do you feel that? How do you get that sweetness? How do you relish the sweetness? Why are they saying like that? The sweetness of the names are so sweet that there is no description for it. There is no description for how sweet they are unless one experiences it, right? Unless one experiences that sweetness, it's not possible to explain how sweet they are, right? Sometimes when we can, so the best part is, the good part is, the promising part is, we all have the opportunity. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given that to us, right? That is the reason, one of the reasons for his appearance. He has given that to us. So what is that sweetness? How do you experience that sweetness? Please try to chant in the morning alone, or like in front of the deities, or before you chant. This is what I practiced. Maybe it applied to everyone, I think. So before we chant, just think about how grateful we are to Krishna for all the things he has done for us. right? There are, um, when you go to sleep, that sleep is considered as death, right? And it clear, and everyone knows in this world that we ignore. We know, but we ignore. What do we know? Once we go to bed, there is no guarantee that we'll get up and come back to life next day morning. There is no guarantee, right? But we still get up. We still have life. So think about that. Such a nice thing Krishna is giving us. So any next day, any next minute, we are able to live. We are able to enjoy this material existence is just because of Krishna's mercy. We are all dependent upon the mercy, right? So if that mercy is flowing in, then why don't we, like, just glorify for that, be gratitude for that. That's the basic minimum thing what we can do. There are thousands and thousands of other things which Krishna is giving us, but just to meditate upon Krishna, this is good enough, right? Giving life, giving 1 minute extra to live in this material world. Krishna, thank you. You have given me I could see this morning, I could see the sun, I could relish the sunrise. I could relish the breeze. So that is one thank you. And there are, I mean, this is just an example, but there are, if you count on the favors Krishna is doing to us, there is no limit for that. Everything, every grain we eat is because of Krishna. So think about that. This is not an exaggeration. Please think about that. I'm not exaggerating I mean, I'm not forcing you to think about that, but in reality, this is what we are. This is what we have. There is no guarantee in this material world, but still we are existing there, but still we are eating, but still we have a bed, still we have a roof to live in, right? So that is the greatness of Krishna. That is the greatness of that greatness. With that greatness, if you chant the holy names, then I think we can get like point one, very little, like in percent of a percentage of taste that the devotees experience. So the taste, right? When you feel the taste, the uh, Right. The tears will flow down, the hair will stand, and everything will happen. Okay, so that symptoms will show, and you in the taste when you're chanting the holy names, that that taste is no match. Sorry, sorry, the taste of this kadali phala, whatever, the bananas, the kharjuras, the sweets, whatever you eat, you name the bestest of the sweets or the bestest of the things, the taste you have, nothing will match to to the taste of that sounds of the name, right? So I know we are digressing from a topic, but this is one thing I wanted to share. So that's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. So he has given us the spontaneous attraction towards the Lord. And the first reason is to experience the love of his devotees. He wants to see what my devotees go through, why they're so desperate for my love, why they're so desperate to reach to me. So that is the two reasons, Chanavatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And let's move on to verse number 26. Okay. Priya Jodi Mone Kori Koroye Brasana Veda Stuti Hoite Hare Shayi Mora Mana. If my beloved consort reproaches me in a sulky mood that steals my mind from the reverent hymns of the Vedas, right? Krishna is not a deity of right reverence. If you want reverence, you know what is reverence, right? Reverence means like being a servant, serving as a service attitude. Then you have to go to Vishnu. All the avatars, when all the living entities in Vishnu Loka, right? What do they do in the Vishnu Loka? They all have the forms of Vishnu. The only difference between Lord Vishnu and all the living entities of Vaikuntha is that Vishnu will have Kaustuba and that Rekha, what do you call it? Lakshmiji in the form of uh, white line on his chest. Okay, these are the only two things which differentiate Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, from all the other living entities. If they will have four hands, they are beautiful, they are blue, They all are blue. They have all four hands. They are all carrying the Shankagada Chakra Padma, right? If you see the Ajamila story, whenever you see the depictions of Ajamila, when Ajamila was on the deathbed, you see, um, um, oh, I'm sorry, in the picture you see Yamakinkaras, the servants of Yamaraj, and uh, uh, yeah, Vaikuntavasis, the servants of Lord Vishnu. You see, they look like exactly like Lord Vishnu if you see the depiction. So, what is the difference? That I mean, what is the difference is that sorry. Yeah. So in that loka, what these living entities, how do they approach Vishnu is because of the service attitude. They have service attitude. They have reverence. They pay obeisances to Lord Vishnu. Right? That's how the relationship between Lord Vishnu and the servants over there is that it's a reverence mode. Like all the living entities, they pay obeisances. They are very respectful. They treat Lord as king, and they serve Lord as a king, and they serve like that. He's high. We don't touch, or we don't do unusual activities or silly activities in front of the Lord. That is reverence mode, right? But when it is Krishna, that is different. Did you ever see Gopa sitting in front of Krishna's and like folding hands and sitting in front of Krishna? No. If you see any depictions, they're playing with Krishna, they're jumping on Krishna, they're all dancing with Krishna. So that is the difference. So if my beloved consort reproaches me in a sulky mode, that steals my mind from the reverent hymns of Vedas. So the reverent hymns of Vedas here for Vishnu. Om Tachayora Pranimhe Gatun Yajnaya Gatun Yajnapataye. So all these mantras, all these whatever we do is for Vishnu. So here Krishna's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that if my beloved consort is my wife reproaches me like Satyabhama, Mother Satyabhama, she should reproach Krishna, right? But he was always with the Satyabhama, with Satyabhama. Why? Because that is another type of relation. He wants people to reproach him. Sorry, not people, but his consorts, his devotees to reproach him. So if my beloved consort reproaches me in a sulky mode, that steals my mind from so if let's say someone is praying to Krishna with mantras, okay, Hey Krishna, Karuna, Sindhu, Dinabandho, Jagatpate, or something. His mind is like, okay, now later. First, my someone is reproaching me, so let me attend that first. So he gives preference to the reproaches. Does that mean we should go ahead and reproach Krishna? No, not really. That needs qualification. That needs a certain level of austerities that needs to be done to achieve to that level. It's not just we should not wrongly assume that we are in that level and start reproaching Krishna and yelling at Krishna. That's not. Srila Prabhupada advises us to have a deity in the form of, even though it's Radha Krishna, but at home when we pray to Radha Krishna, we pray to in the form of Lakshmi Devi and Narayana, Lakshmi Narayan Ji, because we have to have a reverence mode. We're not there to blaspheme or anything like that, but that's a different story. But here, so Krishna is saying that if the hymns are, let's say, if Krishna is here and he's getting a hymns and some prayers from some devotee, and some pure devotee and his beloved consorts are reproaching him or like blaspheming him for something, his attention is on the reproachment, not the hymns. Okay, so that's what this is saying. According to Upanishads, all living entities are dependent on the supreme living entity, the personality of Godhead, as it is said, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. One eternal living entity supports all other eternal living entities because the supreme personality of Godhead maintains all living entities. They remain subordinate to the Lord. Um, Okay, yeah. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead maintains all living entities, they remain subordinate to the Lord, even when joined in with Him in the reciprocation of loving affairs. Okay, so even though they in the reciprocation, they are all subordinate. Okay, but in the course of exchanging transcendental love of highest purity, sometimes the subordinate devotee tries to predominate over the predominator. Yes, generally it's subordinate, but because of the purity of the consciousness they have towards Krishna, the love, transcendental love, exchanging transcendental love. Sometimes devotees predominate. Okay, so that's one thing. Let's go to 27 and 28. E Shuddha Bhaktalana Karima Avatar Koriba Vivida Vida Adbhuta Vihar Vaikuntadhi Nahi Je Je Lila Rapachar Sheshe Lila Kori Boj Jati Mora Chamatkar. Taking these pure devotees with me, I shall descend and sport in various wonderful ways, unknown even in Vaikuntha. So these various wonderful ways are unknown in Vaikuntha. Why? Because as I said, Vaikuntha is a reverential arena, a domain or a place or a region where the devotees or the living entities they provide respects to the living to the Supreme Personality of Godhead there, right? So that's why Krishna saying that with this close attendance, like or close devotees of me, I'll come down and in a place where taking these pure devotees with me, I shall descend and sport in various wonderful ways, in different various wonderful ways he sports, unknown even to Vaikuntha. I shall broadcast such pastimes by which even I am amazed. So Krishna is saying that I am also gets amazed. Oh, I am doing that kind of like, Rasa Leela. Think about that, right? So we will get to that. Sorry, we'll get to that in the next few verses. So verse number 29. मो विषय गोपी गणेरा उपपति भावी योगमय करीबे का अपना प्रभावे. Very nice words. The influence of Yogamaya will inspire the gopis with a sentiment that I am their paramar. Paramar. Okay. Yogamaya is the name of internal potency that makes the Lord forget himself and become an object of love for his pure devotee in different transcendental mellows. Okay. Let's talk about this sentence. Yogamaya is the name of the internal potency that makes the Lord forget himself. We're all saying, or we know that we know Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, undefeatable, right? Sat Chit Ananda body is always knowledgeable, right? Sat means full of knowledge. Chit means full of happiness. No, sorry. Sat means always present. Sat means always there, always truthful. Always truth means existential truth, meaning that there is no false, meaning he knows everything. Sorry, he's always there. Sat. Chit means full of knowledge. There is nothing he doesn't know. Ananda means full of bliss. There is no um, there is nothing he doesn't know, right? That's what we know. The definition of Krishna's body is given as Satchit Ananda body. Now, such a personality, what is this statement saying? The statement is saying Yogamaya is the name of internal potency that makes the Lord forget himself. How can Krishna forget? He's supposed to be Chit, Chidatma. Yeah, Chidatma means like he knows everything. So the meaning here is that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? He knows everything, but he makes himself, Yogamaya is the internal potency, and he makes himself or requests Yogamaya to uh, just cover that up. Even though he remembers, even though he knows that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, but he makes Yogamaya to function in such a way that he doesn't remember, he remembers, but he doesn't want to act in that way. Like, if Krishna, Yashoda Mai, right, if she is punishing Krishna, let's say Yashodamaya is punishing Krishna, then if Krishna remembers, I am the supreme personality of Godhead, what is she doing? Then how would that Lila happen? How would they enjoy the Vatsalya ras from the mother? That's why he'll say, he knows that he's the supreme personality of Godhead, but he'll say Yogamaya, hey, listen, I know that I'm supreme personality, I know this is going to happen, but you still make me go through this. Like, make me cover that up, cover that up and make me act like a child, right? This is a very good instance. If you remember, um, uh, Arjuna has requested Krishna to show um, his form, right? So, yeah, what avatar? Yeah, Arjuna has requested Krishna to show his um,
Divya Roop, Divya Darshan.
yeah, Devi Darshan. But what is the form, Mataji? Collecting, forgetting all the names. But anyway, so his universal form. So Krishna, Arjuna has requested Krishna to show his universal form. When the universal form is there, Arjuna is seeing like thousands and thousands of hands, thousands and thousands of heads, thousands and thousands of eyes, Sahasrakshat, Sahasrapath, like thousands and thousands of legs. The whole sky is covered with the heads, so many eyes, right? And he's seeing these soldiers, these warriors, who are proclaiming to be the strongest and the strongest of the all. They are all like they are all entering the mouths of this universal form. How are they entering? Are they entering with will? No, they are forced to enter into the mouth, and their mukutas are touching the teeth of that universal form, and they're falling down, and they have no way they can escape, but they're just going entering into the mouths of that universal form. That is what Arjuna has seen. Now here on the other side, Krishna is there. Yashodamai is showing the hand, right? If you move, I'm binding you to this ukkal, right? This cranial motor. If you move, I'll give you a slap. And Krishna is like worried. He's crying. How can this transformation happen? That's because he has asked Yogamaya to cover. I know I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know what is going to happen. All these things, but you cover me. So that is what is happening here. So Yogamaya is the name of the internal potency that makes the Lord forget himself and become an object of love for his pure devotee. For his pure devotee, to exchange that divine mellows. He wants to exchange that Vatsalya ras. Krishna is not alone, right? I mean, he is Atma Rama, it's a different thing, but when with the devotees, he wants to give that bliss to them also. He wants to share that bliss with them. Right? This Yogamaya potency creates a spiritual sentiment in the minds of damsels of Raja by which they think of Lord Krishna as their paramour. Right? They are or his savior. So this sentiment is never to be compared to mundane illicit sexual love. So this is all. It's not about illicit thing, right? Whatever existing in this material world is also existing in the spiritual world. Anything existing in this material world is because of what it is existing in the spiritual world. That's the right way to put it, right? Anything, any friendship, any love, anything is existing in this material world is because it is existing in the spiritual world. But what is the difference? The difference is, in the spiritual world it is pure, the intentions are pure. It is, when it is in the spiritual world, it is in the perfect form of it. But in the spiritual world, it's a reverse, right? Yeah, it's not pure, it's lust. That love turns into lust. That's the problem, right? So although the pure law of such devotees seem to be sexual, okay, but it's not really the psychology or what we feel in this material world. One should know for certain that nothing can exist in this cosmic manifestation that has no real counterpart in the spiritual world, okay, spiritual field. All material manifestations are emanations of the transcendence. The erotic principles of Armour's love reflected in mixed material values are perverted reflections. That's what we said. This is all perverted reflections in this material world. There is a purity in the spiritual world, but in this material world, when it comes, because we have seen this, because we are conditioned with our material energy, that's why we see everything is perverted here. We cannot compare what we see in the spiritual world. So perfections of the perverted reflections of the reality of spirit. So these are the perverted, but one cannot understand the reality unless one is sufficiently educated in the spiritual science. So important thing is like we have to educate ourselves in the spiritual science, like what you are all doing, like attending the classes, reading to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada's purports, and understanding. That's when eventually we'll get to the understanding of what we lack and what we know. Okay, so that's one thing. And अमीह न जाने तो है न जाने गोपी जान गोपीगण दोहरा रूप गुने दोहरा nitya hare man. Neither the gopis nor shall I notice this, for our minds will always be entranced by one another's beauty and qualities. So he says that um, gopis should not know about this. If they know, right? For our minds will always be entranced by one another's beauty. Okay? In the spiritual sky, the Vaikuntha planets are predominated by Narayana. His devotees have the same features. Oh, we talked about it. Oh, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here. Wow. His devotees have the same features. He does and the exchange of devotion there in the platform of reverence. Very well opt. We covered it very nicely in the beginning of this class. You know? But above all these Vaikuntha planets is Goloka or Krishna Loka, where the original personality of God, Krishna, fully manifests his pleasure, potential in free loving affairs. Since the devotees in the material world know almost nothing about these affairs, the Lord desires to show these affairs to them. Why Lord does it desires to show these affairs to them? In the material world, living entities doesn't know about this material affairs, but why is he wants to show this to them? That's a good question, right? Because he wants to show that so that he can attract the living entities. When we say, hey, let's pray to Krishna so that we can go back to Godhead, we can go to his Golok Dham, then they say, why? I don't want to go, I'm good here. I'm so good. I have a house, I have family, I have my dog, I have my cat, I have my food, my work, right? So that's why Krishna comes and shows these activities, saying that, hey, what you are having here is just temporary, and it's nothing compared to what we or what you enjoy in the Goloka Dham. So that's why he wants to show this. Okay. So this is one another verse. Now this is 431 is the verse for today. धर्म छोड़ी रागे दुहे करो ये मिलन कबू मिले कबू ना मिले दैवर गटन. The pure attachment will unite us even at the expense of moral and religious duties. Destiny will sometimes bring us together and sometimes separate us. So what does this mean? So when it comes to Krishna Loka, or when it comes to the spiritual world, the activities there are completely different, right? I always remember one example. When we are traveling on the road, let's say we're going driving to temple in the car, right? There is a red light. We stop at the red light, and we're supposed to stop at the red light. And when we're stopping for the red light, we may see the planes on the top. They are going on a high. They're not stopping for the red light, right? So we cannot ask a question why that flight is not stopping. It's a red light. Why the flight is not stopping? Because the plane has its own the plane it's and it's sorry the plane has its own domain. Okay, it is allowed to pass through because it's high, it's different. It's not, the rules of the road doesn't apply to the rules of the plane, like how to drive or how to go. You cannot blaspheme the pilot saying that, hey, you're not stopping for the red light, because he has his own domain. This is very simple example. So that's how the rules of this material world doesn't apply to the rules, or doesn't apply at all to the living entities or Krishna or the spiritual planets. We have these rules of this material world are only for this material world, right? Only for this material world, but this doesn't apply to the Krishna or Krishna's devotees. So that's why it is saying the pure agent will unite is even okay. So that's why this moral religious duties, what we have, like one wife, one husband, one family, one children, one child, all these things are different. Okay. The gopis came out to meet Krishna in the dead of night when they heard the sound of his flute. Srila Rupa Goswami has accordingly, this is a very good verse. 5 to 4. Let's see. 5 to 4. Srila Prabhupada is giving reference in his purport to this verse. What is the verse saying? The verse says, this is a beautiful verse. Shmeran Bangitraya Parichitam Sachivisthirna Drishtim Vamshi Nyastha Dhara Kishalayam Ujvalam Chandrakena Govindakhyam Haritanum Itah Keshiti Tirtopakanthe Ma Prekshitastava Yadhi Sake Bandhu Sange Stiranga. It's a beautiful verse. It's saying that it's, yeah, it's basically saying in a what do you call it? There is a word in English for this, but it's sarcasm. It's saying in a sarcasm. It's not a pure sarcasm, but it's saying in a different way. What is it saying? My dear friend, right? Sake bandhu sange. Okay, bandhu, oh my friend, right? Oh, sorry. What is it? Sake. Oh dear friend, my dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshigata. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute to his lips, which seem like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight. So, if you are attached to the material world or material beings or material family members, if you really see the beauty of Krishna, all that shatter away. You will lose the attraction towards these attachments, this temporary attachments. That's what this verse is saying. So, what is the verse saying? The verse is saying that the Govinda in the Keshigat, right? So he has a Tribhanga form, like Tribhanga in three forms, right? A face, um, um, waist, and the knees. Krishna is Tribhanga in three. Tribhanga means Bhanga means bends. Three means three. Three places Krishna has a bend. So that Tribhanga form of Krishna, if you see, he who is playing the flute on his lips. If you see that beautiful form of Krishna, you will lose the attraction or you lose the interest in this material worlds. So if you are rage, if you are attached to your friends and if you want to continue that attachment, never ever go and check that Krishna in the Keshigata. So that's what basically it's saying in a reverse way. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is quoting here. That describes that beautiful boy called Govinda standing by the bank of Yamuna with his flute to his lips in the shining moonlight. Those who want to enjoy life in the materialistic way of society, friendship, and love should not go to Yamuna to see the form of Govinda. The sound of Lord's flute is so sweet that it has made the gopis forget all about their relationships with their kinsmen and flee to Krishna in the dead of night. The Krishna's flute is so sweet, right? It attracts all the living entities. All the living entities, I'm saying, includes, it's not just human forms, living entities, I'm saying. Why I'm saying living entities? Living entities can be the cows, animals, birds, snakes, water animals, anything can be attracted with the Krishna's flute. So that Krishna's flute, when he um, when he blows that or when he uses his Krishna flute, then all the living entities, the gopis basically came out of the dead night. Okay. So by leaving home in that way, this is the meaning of this first line. Okay. By leaving home in that way, the gopis transgress the Vedic regulations of household life. So what are the Vedic regulations of the household life? The Vedic regulations of the household life is you have to be with your family members. Yeah? You have a spouse. You have to respect the spouse. Make sure that he has eaten or she has eaten. Make sure your kids are taken care. Make sure your family members are taken care. Right? And you have to sleep. And you cannot go out of the home whenever you whimsically whenever you want to go out. That is the Vedic injunctions. But here, when Krishna calls through the flute, they can go. So this transgressed the Vedic relations of life. This indicates that what natural feelings of love for Krishna become fully manifest. Sorry, this indicates that when natural feelings of love for Krishna become fully manifest, a devotee can neglect conventional social rules and regulations. So Srila Prabhupada mentioning that when that love, that stage has comes, right? So the disclaimer here is that we cannot act in like that prematurely. We think, oh, I'm that's it. Like I'm the and that leads to another problem. It's another big problem, right? Prematurely thinking that you are qualified enough to think yourself as a husband of or wife of Krishna and acting weirdly. That's not right. That's another Swajiyas, right? So they think that Krishna is their husband. Now all the men, women, all of them are acting as if they are the gopis and That's Sahajiya. Sorry, the name is Sahajiya. So that's another problem of this reading such scriptures. Like they prematurely think that they are. I'm not commenting on any of them, but what I'm trying to say is like most of us should be wary that where we stand. A good thing is always approach a guru or always approach a senior devotee to understand where you stand. It's not like you take the decisions whimsically and think yourself as a qualified sahajiya and go out and act weirdly here and there. So that's not recommended. But for the see, this all this is Chaitanya Charitamrita is a master's degree or what a PhD they call it, right? So it's a high level studies. When you study there, this kind of details will come in. Then you have to understand in a right way. Very important that is you have to understand this in a right way. So, by leaving the home in such way, the gopis transgress the Vedic regulations of the household life. This indicates that when natural feelings of love for Krishna become fully manifest, a devotee can neglect conventional social rules and regulations. In the material world, we are situated in the designated positions only, but pure devotional service begins when one is freed from all designations, right? Upadhis, all upadhis should be cleared. Then only we can understand the pure love of Krishna. When love for Krishna is awakened, the designative positions are overcome. All this, like wife, husband, officer, director, VP, doctor, anything, all these things will go away. All these things will not help also. Okay, the spontaneous attraction of Krishna for his dearest parts and parcel generates an enthusiasm that obliges Sri Krishna and gopis to meet together, right? So that enthusiasm will develop. That's a spontaneous attraction, that spontaneous attraction of Krishna for his dear parts and parcels. What are the dear parts and parcels? So each and every living entity is a part and parcel of Krishna. So that's what Krishna, when gopis went there, Krishna has warned them, saying that gopis, you came here, that is not right. According to Vedas, you are supposed to be with your family members, but you are here. It's not a right thing to do. But gopis were knowledgeable enough to say that Krishna, you are the super soul, and we are the parts and parcels of that soul. You are part of you. There is no difference between you and us. So that's what I mean. We are part of you. So when yeah, they give very good explanation of like when bigger part calls for the smaller part, they all come together, and there is nothing wrong in there. That's what they say. There is need of sentiment of separation between lover and beloved. So in the condition of material tribulations, no one wants the pangs of separation, but in the transcendental form, the very same separation, being absolute in its nature strengthens the ties of love and enhances the desire of the lover and beloved to meet. The period of separation evaluated transcendentally is more relishable than the actual meeting, which lacks the feelings of increasing anticipation because the lover and beloved are both present. So separation, Vipralamba Bhava, is explained here that yes, there are multiple different types of loves. So if you're always with your lover or with your the one whom you love, there is no you don't experience the like let's say you are always with your the people, your children or your family members, and you don't value that, right? Let's say you have to go to somewhere else. Yeah, you were supposed to go on a trip to some other country or some other place. When you go to trip, then you feel that missing part, right? You feel that, oh, what my child is doing, what is he doing, what he might be doing homework at this point of time, or what is my wife cooking today, and how is she taking care of deities. So all these thoughts will come, and that is the scriptures, the Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying that separation, that Vipralamba Bhava, means the love in separation is much more intense than the love you experience directly when you have your Krishna around us. Right? That is what it is explained here. So Kabu mile, Kabu na mile, Daivere Gatana. So it's all like when they meet and when they don't meet is arranged by Yogamaya. Right? Daivere Gatana of destiny. So the next verse is Eishaba Niryasa Koriba Ashwada Eyi Dware Koribo Shaba Bhaktera Prachara. So this is the reason. So the second reason he gave is like he wants to spread this love, and he wants to show how the living entities can enjoy in this in the Goloka. So that's why he comes there. I shall taste the essence of all these rasas. So he wants to taste all these essences like Parakiya Bhava and all the loves of different varieties, right? And he wants to share. He wants to also Ashwada. He wants to taste all these mellows and also share it with the devotees. He wants to share that with the devotees so that he appears here. That's the reason, one of the reasons, right? So we will stop here. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any reflections, questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanush Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mirabai did it. Mira had the same thing, right? She broke the rule and she went, behind and
When,
done everything.
yes, Mataji, you're right. So when that love develops for Krishna, right, all these material things will not stop them, right? They go beyond these boundaries of these material rules. They just go beyond that. See, if it's Mirabai, very good example, Bhakta Prahlad, right? His father is a king. His father uh, is a controller at that point of time. Literally, he was controlling demigods. Forget about the human beings, right? He was controlling the demigods. So powerful. But Prahlad Maharaj's love for Krishna is so much that he didn't get bound by the rules of this society at that point of time. He just the whole his kingdom was saying that Hiranyakashipu ki jai or Hiranyakashipu all goes to Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlad Maharaj was not doing that. He was saying that my God is Krishna, and I'll say Krishna is God, not Hiranyakashipu is God. His father, right? We get sometimes bind by this sometimes we get yeah attracted get into this spell of all these material things, but when that love awakens for Krishna, all these boundaries will shatter, and you always think about Krishna, or you don't, nothing will stop you, basically none of these material boundaries will stop you to reach out to Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, for that example.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very nice class.
Hare Krishna.
It gives more motivation, inspiration to do more sadhana, more chanting. Very good.
Yeah, Srila
Appreciate, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu. All right, so it's time. Semester Prabhu is here. Semester Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Thank you so much, Kishore Prabhu. Anything else? Anybody else would like to add? We conclude. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's conclude today's class. Let's chant together. Vancha kalpatarupasya
Krupa Sindhu
kripasindhu
Evacha.
Adidanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Krishna
Namo.
Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Andara Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari.
Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.